Change the bit depth to 16 and create a new composition. Set the width and height to 1920 by 1080 and frame rate to 29.97 and duration 5 seconds. And give a proper name. Load the first text, right-click, transform to fit to comp. Create a new solid, call it cells and hit OK. Add a fractal noise effect, set the fractal type to dynamic and inverted, and then change the brightness and contrast little bit and down the complexity 4. Then add a CC vector blur effect, change the amount to 45 and smoothness about 11. Change the blending mode to subtract. Take a pen tool and make a mask and play with feather and expansion values to make some decent room for our logo. And finally press T2 and bring opacity little bit down. Bring the second texture and set the transform to fit to comp and blending mode to multiply. Import the picture and right-click, pre-compose it. Move all attributes and call it image. Go to layer and create a new adjustment layer and add a fill effect and set the color to black. Take both image and adjustment layer, pre-compose it. Call it logo. Create a new solid, call fractal noise, and add a fractal noise effect. Play with the values to get something like this. Duplicate the noise layer and logo layer. And set the track matte to Luma matte. Add a simple choker effect to the below logo layer and give it a negative value. Then add turbulent displace effect and change the type to twist smooth and amount to 25 and size to 200 and set the complexity to 2. Add a fill effect and set the color to black. Make it blur by adding a box blur effect and set the radius about 20 and iteration to 2. Take another copy of logo layer without any effects and set the blending mode to overlay. Grab these 4 layers and pre-composed and call it logo underscore. Create a new solid inside logo underscore comp and make some random masks. Feather out the edges and take down opacity a touch. Go to the main comp and create a new solid above logo underscore and name it lines. Add a gradient ramp effect and use curves or levels to give some contrast. Then add CC Tyler effect and set the scale to 1.5 and change the track matte of logo underscore layer to Luma matte. Create a new text layer and give it your text. Now pre-compose it and add a fill effect and color to black. Add a roughen edge effect and tweak the values to something like this. Then duplicate the text comp and tweak the values of below layer and add a box blur and blur it out little. Select the both text comps and pre-compose it and call it text underscore. Place it below the cell layer and position it appropriately. Let's use an image instead of logo. Go to image comp and add your image. Scale it properly. Now inside the logo comp you will find that it has lost some details and look completely black. This happens due to our fill effect in adjustment layer. So, add a tint effect and hide the fill effect. Now let's animate this. First, go inside text underscore comp and create a new solid, call wipe. Add a linear wipe effect and set the angle to -90. Go to 3.5 seconds and click on the stopwatch icon and set the completion value to 100. Give it a second and set the value to 0. If you like, select the keyframes and hit F9 to ease them. And also give some feathering to the effect. It will be more convenient for us if this layer is in our main comp, so cut the layer and paste it in the main comp above the text underscore comp. Now set the track matte of text underscore comp to alpha matte. Go to the logo comp and create a new solid below the adjustment layer and name it image wipe. Add a gradient effect and set the shape to radial. Flip the color of start and end. Now add a curves effect and give it more contrast and use a fractal noise effect to create something like this. Now, animate the end of ramp point to make the gradient comes from left top to right bottom. And also animate the contrast of fractal noise effect from the previous value to end up on 0. And now set the track matte of image comp to Luma matte. Come back to your main comp and enjoy the animation.